Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, Rated HR Episode 3, The Prince Podcast. I am HR, this is Root Hub.
Yes, I am.
AKA Greg.
AKA Greg.
Or am I not supposed to say that?
Bonfire.
You don't care? You go by both names?
Yeah, G. They used to call me Sticks in high school because I was very thin.
Yeah,
The thin young
you're
man.
still thin, my friend.
Yes.
The beard is thick.
The beard is thick. But
In the studio audience, Lehua, Kealoha, Bret, Paulina, Liko. And this is like tag team, bro. We just move in. You got something to say? Jump in. There's definitely room here. We can like figure it out, guys. So this is, we play music. This is all. There's no structure. I call it the Prince Podcast because that's the big thing on my mind right now. I know if you don't like, this is Sunday, April 20. What is it right now? 24th. I'm gonna try to put this up 25th tomorrow. So it's gonna be it's gonna be my quickest edit ever. Because I just feel like, isn't there like a grieving limit?
Yeah.
What is the limit before everyone's like already? Like it was like, even when Prince died, when August was it April 21st, 2016, and like from the morning.
I was just thinking that mic is like it's
it's still
going in the red.
You are really hot on
I'm really hot, so go back more.
Back it up. Back the mic up.
Okay.
I'm
so used to radio going straight up here, but maybe the way that it's set up, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So like even though when Prince actually died, which I think it was April 21st, 2016, and then of course the Facebook news feed, everything gets flooded, and it's like Prince quotes, Prince songs. I played along, you can't resist. But like even by like the next day, people were like, enough already.
Yeah. Do you think
I'm like, what?
Like how long people held on to the king? Like Elvis, right? He's
That's
still,
what I'm saying.
Like so bad that he's still alive.
That's why I'm doing this tonight, because I'm like, I don't really care. Like, Prince gets longer than a 24-hour Facebook news feed flood. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna look. We've got jobs, we got lives. It just took us a while to kind of get together and even talk about it. But Prince was huge for me, and I saw the reason why I called you. And this is all this last night. I texted you like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And I said, hey Greg, I saw your video on Facebook. Actually, you're one of the people. And it is like, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like, it's kind of a competition who can grieve the best. And I'm sorry, but you were one of my favorite grievers. Is that wrong to say? Like, it's kind of a competition. And
Top three grievers.
Top three
right
grievers
there.
right here, Root Hub. I mean, some people you're getting too intense.
It's an honor, and I was very sad. I still am sad, actually.
Your sadness was displayed so...
You're getting hot again.
Your sadness was so... It was so skillful. The expression of your sadness was amazing. Anyway,
Well, it was well thought out.
So anytime you want to, you can give us a sample. I can refer to the video. That's what I love about this digital medium. But you sang a little bit of "When Doves Cry." You did it. You did it slower. You did it like a silhouette.
Yeah.
And so the sun's like you're backlit, and there's like a moving in and out of the sun. You can hear the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know. It was just like your version of it, which I appreciated that. Like it's like. In the whole like competition of grieving well.
Yeah,
I just appreciated your version of that. It was short.
He's crossing the finish line before anybody.
Right, in 15 seconds, I was there. I was like, and the caption was "Honor your heroes."
Yeah, I was there by myself, and I was about to play a wedding, and I actually went to the beach and put the phone down on the ground, trying to do this by myself, and just started singing my heart out. And I looked over, and there were these two people. And they just were crying, and they came up to me and they were like, thank you so much. Like that just like, they were tourists and they were like on holiday and they were like, hey, you want us to help you film that? And I said, yeah, that would be actually incredible. And then, like the silhouette, like I'm not the most important thing in that.
Why'd you pick that song?
Oh, that song, it just, it speaks to me. I've played that song for a while, and it deals with like, Prince has a lot of hot numbers that'll get you on the dance floor. That song is deeper on different levels because it's not as sexual as a lot of the songs. It deals with your family. It deals with
Dude, it's like
your changes that you're going through.
It's like one of the best lines in. It's just pop music. I mean, maybe I'm just too demanding.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when minor birds cry.
Yeah, you know, like we
heavy.
all inherit traits, like traits that go beyond your parents and your grandparents, and they're more of like traits that are built into your lineage.
Okay.
So like, you know, people that maybe don't know their parents could still fuck up like their great grandfather.
Right.
Or do great things.
Well, no, that's what I mean. I think that, you know, we're talking about that lyric, by the way, the When Doves Cry, you sang it on Facebook. That's kind of why I called you, and we're talking about Prince, obviously. I mean, that lyric, and this something about Prince was he knew how to be simple and deep, marketable, and, you know, complex, reaching the masses.
Yeah,
right?
and
but still feeding the fringe.
And if you've seen Purple Rain,
oh my God! I mean, to me, it's almost like there's Purple Rain and then there's everything else. To be honest, I mean, I don't mean just the song. I mean the movie.
The movie. Yeah, if you see it, then you see his interaction with his mom and dad and how that goes down.
And I just learned this, you know, because every time someone dies, depending on who it is. I mean, this year we had David Bowie. It's just like this has been a crazy year for celebrity death. We just had who was the other one?
Fife.
Recently.
Fife.
We had China was just the other week.
Beyond Point Fife.
I don't know. Who's that?
Oh, that's a lyric from a song.
Oh, okay.
China.
Well, I'm just saying that was just a couple days ago. I always feel bad for China, right? Like she might have had a much better death celebration, and we would have remembered and felt a lot
like Glenn
more.
Frey.
But you got usurped by Prince's death, and
Bowie dies, and then Glenn Frey dies a couple days later, and people are like, oh,
right.
The guys from the Eagles.
Right. So I learned that when Prince grew up, his dad was a professional jazz pianist, and he couldn't play piano when his dad was in the house before the divorce.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't good enough. So his dad would tell him basically, you can't play the piano.
Maybe he was too demanding.
Yeah, no, seriously, you're not as good as me, so don't touch the piano. So at least that was Prince's perception, right? So when the dad left, he said he was very determined to be as good as his dad or better.
Yeah.
And then he ends up being able to play every single instrument.
That's kind of how I felt when I saw Prince play guitar. I was like, I shouldn't be allowed to play the guitar.
No, that's what it was. Like, that's really what it was. Like, when I first learned about Prince, my friend introduces me to Prince. And it was just so funny because my friend Michael Torres, Portuguese guy, kind of looked like Prince, I thought, right? So he's like, look at this guy, bro, Purple Rain and Prince, and you're going to love it, right? So I look at this guy, and I see the video, and I don't know what it was, 1999. He had the curly hair and the purple and the spandex and the eyeliner and the
cravat.
And the stilettos. And I'm like, I look at my friend, I'm like, are you freaking, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, that's where I was at, because I'm like, you know, I just felt like, are you kidding me? Like, this guy's he's a mahu, I felt uncomfortable. I just thought, what is this? So, he was the one who told me, he's like, you're an idiot. This guy is a musical genius. This guy's awesome. And besides that, he's like banging all the hottest models in Hollywood. Like, you got this guy all wrong, right? So I was like, wait, you see the videos, you see he's like dating like Apollonia, Vanity, Sheena Easton, Sheila E. Then he's like writing all the music for him. But when you see Purple Rain, you see the guitar solo.
Oh, Princess won he got crammed into this black music corner.
Totally.
Where he is easily like one of the best guitar players like around, and like Rolling Stone even dogged him, and it's just because he went beyond boundaries. People we want to categorize. Oh, you belong here, you belong here.
Totally.
Prince, you know, like you couldn't do it, but like at the same time he's writing these incredible pop hooks and just making people like want to rip their clothes off. He'd also back that up with a guitar solo like equal to anybody that's been around in the last 40 years.
Yeah, John Mayer actually said he's the best guitarist we've ever had.
It's
just amazing. It's like, because it's not just about what scales you can play, right? It's like this art. It's improv. It's an emotion.
Yeah.
Even Purple Rain, when he just decides to go for like 18 measures, and he just knows to like just do that hook for a while.
Yeah.
Then he goes into and he does the whole blues rock and roll thing, and he breaks it all down. But I mean, it's like knowing what to not play is a part of his genius. Knowing where to put the spaces.
Yes.
Like in Kiss, I learned in Kiss, he took out the bass line. And then his record company said, no, we're not playing this.
With,
and
like,
he said, if you don't,
like Gene Simmons, he played with Paul Stanley, the band
Did he?
Kiss.
No. The song "Kiss." He actually, it was actually the one song that saved the album. But his record label says, no, that's the one. We're not playing that song. And it sounds like a demo. It sounds like a demo, and plus it just sounds like, what is this? Beer, and it's like had no bass. He was singing falsetto the whole time, and it was weird to them. But of course, he said, you got to put it out first, otherwise you get no more singles from me.
Yeah.
And then so they put it out first. He just, of course, he always teaching people. He always had to teach the record labels what is sellable, what is good music, and then and that's one of my favorite quotes from him is a strong spirit transcends rules. No, I think that's why we're celebrating him. I think it's interesting, right? Like David Bowie is kind of very similar to Prince.
Oh, both of them.
They're very similar.
Their hero-ness and like their sainthood, where they're gonna be, is because not that they did something that you can't do. It's that they showed us all parts of ourselves that we might be scared to explore. Mm-hmm. But look what happens when you go on that journey, when you set foot in that voyage. I mean, look at how many times David Bowie reinvented himself and music and took like immense leaps of faith. Mm-hmm. Of like, being original, being like when people show us that's why you have such like devoted fans to both of those artists, because they told you, hey, you're not alone. You can be a freak. Yeah. You can be like, for all of us that when we grew up, we didn't fit in, we weren't cool, we didn't, like have all that, which some people do, especially when they're young. Like, you can be as weird as you want. Yes. Because I am there for you. That's exactly what it is. Hold on a minute. If you don't play that guitar solo like that, then we don't care that you're weird. If you don't if you don't give us Little Red Corvette, then we don't care if you have purple sparkly pants. Yeah. It's the fact that you're bringing, like, we know you're bringing the talent. We know you wrote Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You. We know you wrote Shaka Khan's I Feel For You. We know you wrote Manic Monday by the Bangles. I mean, it's like you're not just, you're like this superhero, right? And I don't know, I think that's what we're all trying to, like, we're fascinated by it because we all want to figure out how we can do it. Yeah. And not necessarily that exact thing, right? But something like that in our own little world, right? Definitely. Like T.S. Eliot, this guy wrote a bunch of books and he said we read to reassure ourselves we're not alone. That came from a time when there wasn't. I thought C.S. Lewis said that. I think Jerry Lewis said that. Hey lady! Yeah. Like, but that's what we do now. We listen to music to reassure ourselves we're not alone in this giant, like, chaotic, like, spiral that we're in. So, like, people like that come along, and I mean, I don't think we'll see the likes of those guys again anytime soon in popular music. Right. Nobody wants to take a risk these days. No, I mean, yeah, and that's why you talk about the music and not wanting to feel alone. I mean, that's why it's like Prince's lyrics had a way of just going straight there, right? Like, how can you just leave me standing alone in a world so cold? Yeah, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? But I mean, no, I just love it because it's hard to just to get deep in a pop song. You know what I mean? It's hard to, like, take us there. I mean, 1999, right? 2000. Yeah, totally. Let me grab that. Yeah, please do. I'm gonna grab. This. Speaking of grabbing things. You know this. Remember? I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray. And then it's like, and I woke up this morning and this morning was Judgment Day. Oh yeah, so it's like, but I love the last part. What was the second verse? I was dreaming when I wrote this, so sue me if it goes too fast. Life is just a party and parties weren't meant to last. Right? To play your Doves Cry thing, I love it. I want to hear it. All right. So good. Speaking of, yeah, I love it. Out of your mind. I'm gonna play the video too, but just for fun. We can play it several times. This is great. I can just edit it all out. Dig if you hear a picture. You and I embrace in a kiss.
sweat of your body covers me. Can you, darling, can you picture this dream, if you will, a culture? Oceans of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses. They feel the heat between me and you. So how could you just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold?
Oh, it's so cold.
Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied.
She never satisfied.
Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Nice. Woo! You're like, how do you like? It's like a. You can't do a when doves cry whoo, but I just did. Woo!
Yeah, I feel that.
It was like a
song.
90. Yeah, totally. I mean, you just take a different like take to it. I love it. I love to see everybody else's everybody's unique, different individual expression, how it made you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get that comes out in that song, and so it's like, I mean, that's a heavy. Like I said, like when you sing that part, and it's like I think a lot of us feel that during that part of the song. You know, maybe I'm just like my father. Maybe I'm just like my mother. It's too bold, too never satisfied. I mean, that's a heavy line because it's just like that's a male female thing. That's a parent thing. That's a family. That's everybody. Everybody can like understand that, you know. To me, I mean, he does a lot of this other stuff after Purple Rain, like musicology. He does Raspberry Beret with around the world in a day.
Yeah.
You know, I love Morning Papers. Him on the piano.
Controversy.
Controversy. That was even before.
8 minutes.
Actually,
Controversy.
Purple Rain was 8 minutes something, right, too?
Yeah, you know, like, and he still just lived in Minneapolis, you know, and now it's coming out what a philanthropist he was, and not being allowed to talk about it because of his religious views. He's such a dualistic character. You know, at one point he's like the aggressor, and he's the person who's being he's prey and he's the predator. He's also very like spiritually like pious, but super sexual. I mean, like Darling Nikki or Erotic City, who is this like sissy boy? Because I wasn't sexual at the age, they must have been more mature than me. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And you know, later as I grew, boy did I grow. I started listening to him, and as I grew as a musician, you know, and a songwriter, I was like, man, this dude is like, this guy is mind-blowing. I saw him at Coachella, like right now that video's going around of him covering Creep.
Oh, yeah.
And just being like, what is going on here? Is he forgetting the lyrics or something? But he's just doing, he takes a song like Creep and totally starts saying like, cause you're just a creep. Right. He's like, hey, guess what, Radiohead? I'm gonna totally change your lyrics. But then right after that, he covered In the Arms of the Angel. By Sarah McLachlan. Yeah, the pet abuse commercial.
No way.
And he's like doing this crazy cover of that song. And I was just like, wow, Sarah McLachlan. I mean, basically he opened up the set. I can't remember Sheila E. or Morris Day and the Time came out first. I think it was Morris Day and the Time.
First,
they came out. They do The Bird and Jungle Love.
Oh yeah.
And then Sheila E. comes out and does Glamorous Life, and he opens up, I think, with Little Red Corvette or Let's Go Crazy, and just the lid comes off of Coachella. Like, you know, there's no lid there. 2008.
Wow.
And it was just insane. And he just like hit like 5 old hits in a row, and just people like lost their shit. You know, just like going like out of their minds. And then he just decides to go into Creep. And then he decides to go in the arms of the angel by McLaughlin, and we're just like, wow, like I did not expect that.
Dude, check out these lyrics, right? Because I mean, like you were talking about like stuff that I never caught when I was a kid. So like, I guess I must be dumb. I had a pocket full of horses, Trojans, and some of them used.
Some of them used.
That's the lyrics, bruh. When I was a kid, I didn't know. I thought he was talking about the Trojan horse.
We just stick them in the
From
pocket.
from history, right? But it was Saturday night. I guess that makes it alright. You say, baby, I've got no plans. Honey, I'll say, little red Corvette. Baby, you're much too fast. Yes, you are, little red Corvette. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though it's on my phone right now. Whatever it is, but
You just felt, the spirit.
yeah, but it's just
a
funny 'cause
pocket
he's
full of Trojans.
Yeah, so I guess I should close my eyes when you drove me to the place where your horses run free. So now he's referring back to that, your horses run free.
Right.
Cause I felt a little ill when I saw all the pictures of the jockeys that were there before me. Believe it or not, I started to worry. I wondered if I had enough class. But it was Saturday night, I guess that makes it alright. You say, baby, I ain't got enough gas. And I'll say, little red Corvettes. It's a simple chords, dude, Simple crap, but he brought the soul to it.
Three chords in the truth.
Three chords.
in the truth.
But he would play the solos and all the in-between stuff, and that's the part that you can't make up, you can't copy, right? It's all original stuff, right?
And I've heard a bunch of stories about him doing like just random gigs. Like there's this place called the Roosevelt Hotel on Hollywood Boulevard, and I was there to meet a friend, and they have this huge lobby, and I heard some noise, and basically, like, he just rolls into the lobby with a crew, starts setting up a little band to, I don't know if the hotel even knew it was gonna happen, and he just starts rocking. And it was like, people are texting, like, oh, get down here right now, Prince is here! And by the time they got there, he was gone. So then, and that was right around the time he was doing that tour that started out at like Staples, then moved to Nokia, it progressively got to smaller and smaller rooms to where he's in this little side place of the House of Blues that fits like 30 people.
Like, why do you think he's so good at music compared to mostly everyone on the planet? Why does someone like someone like stick out so much? Like a guy like Mozart, you're writing your first song when you're 6. A guy who's autistic can hear a Mozart song and like in 1 second like repeat the whole song note for note by ear. What is it about? Why is Prince so good and then someone else just struggles their whole life and can't play one instrument, 2, 3, and the guy plays 27 by the time he's 15? Like, what is going on, you think?
It goes back to what we were talking about, like the eugenetics. Like, I come from a musical family. My lineage is musicians. So he obviously came from, a musical family. But then you get the I don't know, he's kissed on the forehead by the gods. Somebody like that, and like so much of like success in this life, they say, oh, it's like equal parts preparation and hard work and all that. But we live in an absolutely chaotic universe. It really doesn't give a shit about any of that. So the luck aspect comes in too, because who knows? He doesn't get some opportunity some night, right? And then he doesn't get to be what he does, and we never have that. Imagine all the artists that we haven't gotten. Just ponder that for a second, Biku.
What's your favorite Prince song?
I never was, that's the thing, is I never really followed Prince. It was kind of like Prince, when I was younger, when Prince was really big, I was
it parents?
I always mixed him up with Michael Jackson.
Was it Parents Just Don't Understand?
What's that other guy, Little Richard? I was like, Prince, Little Richard, Michael Jackson was like one of those guys. But,
he's one of the Trinity. That's like a good like R&B Trinity, right?
but I like them all. Yeah.
You like them all. That's very.
But I never really like knew all their songs. Like I like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know every single Red Hot Chili Peppers song. And back in like the day, like Guns N' Roses and Led Zeppelin and Beatles, I knew every single song. But like I only knew the famous songs from Prince. So, but they're all good songs. So I never knew any. But I saw Prince in concert one time when he came to Hawaii with his wife at the place down.
So yeah, is it pretty
I'm not. Yeah, but I like. Yeah, that's it. But I know the legend. I mean, I wasn't really into David Bowie, but I did see the movie.
Stardust.
The man who fell to Earth.
Huh?
Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
Not Stardust
the
with
one where
Robert
there's,
De
like,
Niro
kind
and.
of like Muppets. It's like kind of Muppety.
Kind of Muppety. You talking about Neverending Story? Are you talking about the movie Labyrinth?
I don't know.
Are you talking about Labyrinth?
Labyrinth.
Yes, yeah.
Stardust is like Claire Danes and like.
Don't have to be beautiful.
I know all of these songs. Yeah.
To rule my world. Come on, man. Does need it be? I don't know the lyrics. That's Michael Jackson, bro.
He's one of those three. They all look the same.
To me, I knew something turned out. Don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular time. Don't get to know it. I'm just a woman. Extra time in your tears. Okay, you realize that if I had said yes, I would have been the Wesley Snipes character in Bad. It was just funny, and Chris Rock was laughing. He's like, nah, and Prince like kind of got all together. He's like, now you play that video and run it back in your mind. Me as Wesley Snipes, and you tell me if that shit works.